Super excited to welcome in one of our favorite people ever, former BYU quarterback, great, and NFL quarterback as well. Max Hall joins us. Max, it is so good to see you. What a week it's been for you. Welcome to the program.
Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate having you on, man. Spencer and I got to go to lunch a couple weeks ago. That was fun.
Yes.
Down in AZ. That was a good time.
That was a fantastic time. You took me to a fantastic restaurant, and like I told you during the break, I'm still thinking about the fish tacos, and now all of a sudden I'm hungry, so I got to come back and go get those. But in the meantime, Max, you also mentioned during our lunch that you were beginning an incredible new venture, which I think is just super cool, an addiction recovery center. I mean, that's what we're calling it. It's going to help a lot of people in their mental health and their battle to overcome different trials and whatnot. What can you tell us about the Addiction Recovery Center and what began this process for you to open up this center?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So about a year and a half ago, I started a podcast with a few guys, and it's called Agents of Recovery. And we're talking about all kinds of different subjects and addiction, or even leadership, finding your why, communication, all kinds of stuff. But we decided that we needed to take our influence to the next level. So we're opening up a substance abuse counseling center. So it's not an inpatient center. It's not an overnight thing. We want to strictly focus on your therapy, your aftercare, and helping you stay sober. And you can be with us for as long as you want, right? So I'm trying to do my part to use my story and use my experience to help bless the lives of others, because I had people rally around me to help me when I needed it. And I understand that not everybody out there has that team, has those people to rally around them. So I want to be that team. So me and my partner open this. We can bring you in. We can have that support for you. We can give you the work that you need and help work with you to stay sober and be with us forever. So we're really excited about that and the influence that we can have. And to kind of kick us off, we're sponsoring an event that's actually happening tonight. It's with Connection is the Cure. It's going to be, there's a concert and singing, and a bunch of us are going to speak and just kind of bring awareness and connection, as all of us know people who suffer from mental illness or addiction or whatever. So we're trying to rally the troops, man. We're trying to get people to help out, whether that's through donations or just supporting us, helping us get guys jobs, whatever we need to help those. We're trying to rally the community. So we're looking forward to tonight and what we can do in the future with Victory Recovery.
Max, what's this last week been like? Because you've really been thrust back into that spotlight like crazy. I mean, every time I get on Twitter, there's some comment there. There's a story about you there. You've been in multiple media outlets, Instagram, like you name the social media platform, your story's been out there. So it sheds a spotlight not only on this center, but back on you again and what you've been through. What's that been like to kind of relive that over and over again this week?
It is kind of funny. I mentioned to someone the other day, I was like, I feel like I'm playing at BYU again, man. I got all these interviews and all this stuff set up. And, I'm not a big social media guy. I'm not on there a lot. I don't post a lot. That's just not who I am. But it was worth it for me to get outside of my comfort zone on social media and do all these interviews to help promote what I'm doing, because it's important. So it's been a crazy week. I've had 2 or 3 either radio or TV shows going on every day to try to promote what we're doing, because it's for a good cause. And so I'm willing to put myself out there and let everybody know what I'm up to and what I'm trying to do to help other people.
Max Hall is on BYU Sports Nation, opening a substance abuse counseling center in the greater Mesa area of Arizona called Victory Recovery. Love that name as well. And Max, when you think about this project, where do you see it going, and how far out do you feel like it's going to branch? Like, is this something you plan on opening up multiple centers? Like, is it going to be in other places besides Mesa? What do you have for the vision of Victory Recovery?
Yeah, our vision is multiple centers. As what that looks like, maybe 3, 4, 5 of them. We want to stretch out as far as we can and help as many people as we can. So hopefully another 1 or 2 in Arizona. I would love to bring one to Utah if there's a niche and a place where I think we can help and be successful. And who knows after that. But the plan is to do this for a while, and while I'm in it, do whatever I can to make an impact. But yeah, we plan on having multiple places where people can go and get help.
We can't bring you on because we wanted to really talk about this, because this is huge this week and so important to all of us and important to you. We can't bring you on and not talk some football. And there is a little bit of a tie here, because everything I'm seeing, there's even Utah fans supporting you. Like, I'm watching on Twitter and there's Utah fans, like, I'm a Utah fan, but I'm all for Max Hall on this one. Which I'm like, I'm not sure, can Max like Utah fans now? and with all of this expansion talk, all of this in this last couple weeks, I know you've been following that as well. What's your thought on your good friends at Utah joining the Big 12? Is that something that should happen? Do you want them in the Big 12?
That's interesting. So I think BYU fans and Utah fans need to understand something, that a lot of what happened back in the day and the hate and the comments were definitely in the moment when I was caught up in the rivalry. You know, obviously I'm still, Utah's the rival, and we want to beat them. But having been through some of the situations and adversity in my life, I kind of found out that holding grudges or hating other people because they like a different football team, it's not the move. And what's been really cool to see is, even last year when I came back to the BYU-Utah game, I was overwhelmed with how BYU and Utah fans acted towards me and the support they gave me. And Utah fans jumping on social media right now and supporting my cause and what we're doing. And I remember there was even one comment of, there was a guy said, even though he hates me, I still want to support Max and his cause. And I wrote him back and said, well, I don't hate you as much anymore now. So thanks for supporting what we're doing, right? But people understand it's so much bigger than football. And like I said, we're all affected by this. And if we can all be on one team for this cause and stand up to help other people who are suffering and struggling through life, I think we can all be on the same team for that. You know, when the football game's going on, I'm going to cheer for BYU, but when other things are going on, we can rally together. So my answer to that, Blaine, is yes. I think Utah should be in that conference. I think it'd be good for the conference. Utah has a great football program, and I'd love to see BYU and Utah continue to play over the years.
Max Hall is with us on BYU Sports Nation. Let's stay with the football beat, my friend, because it's been a wild week of realignment now that USC and UCLA are leaving for the Big Ten. And, you're in Arizona, and it didn't take long for the Arizona schools to come into the conversation about the Sun Devils and the Wildcats joining the Big 12, along with Utah and Colorado, and pushing the Big 12 to 16 teams. From what you've been able to gather in your circles down in Arizona, is that something that Arizona State and Arizona fans want? Do they want the security of the Big 12, or do they feel like they're going to be okay staying in the Pac-12?
It's a great question, and I honestly don't know the vibe on that. But where ASU and U of A's programs are right now, I would probably think that they would want to stay where they're at. Do I think it'd be good for the Arizona schools to move to the Big 12? Absolutely. I think that would be the right move, but I don't know if the programs are ready to compete every week against the quality opponents that are going to be in the Big 12. So I'm not sure what they're going to do. I'm mixed on it, but they may want to stay where they're at for a few years, or not sure if they're ready to move up.
I want to talk specifically about BYU, Max. Most people realize that Max is very involved in the science of playing the position of quarterback. He trains quarterbacks, does individual training, he coaches. When Max gives me his opinion on how a quarterback is, it carries a lot of weight with me. It has a lot of merit. So first I want to start with Jaren Hall and your thoughts on Jaren Hall and what you expect from him this football season.
Yeah, so first of all, I love Jaren. I think he's a great kid. I think he's a spectacular talent and has done a good job so far. I think that there are high expectations for him going into this year, just like there were high expectations for me going into my senior year. And here's the thing, he has to stay consistent. And as everybody knows, he has to stay healthy. But we all know a healthy Jaren Hall, when he's on point and filling it in a game, he's as good as anybody. And he can make any play, whether that's throwing the ball or on his feet. He's an exciting player to watch. So for Jaren, let's get some consistency week in and week out. Let's stay healthy. And you got to lead this football team. You know, there's that saying, Blaine, as the QB goes, the team goes. And if he can be consistent, I think the team will be. And I think we'll win a lot of football games.
Max, you are a big fan of Jacob Conover as well. And he has, in large part, been deemed the clear backup to Jaren Hall. Why do you think that Jacob Conover is the guy that could step into those big shoes that Jaren is going to leave and lead BYU into the Big 12?
I've been around a lot of quarterbacks, you guys, and I've seen them. All the quarterbacks out there can throw a football and look good and do all that. Jacob Conover, I think, is a kid whose skills go beyond just throwing a football. I've had a chance to train him. I've had a chance to be around him. I love his demeanor. He's bright-eyed. He's smart. He's willing to work. He's a great teammate. Even when he's out there with me throwing and we have the high school kids out there, he's great to them. He coaches them up. He's just got a natural leadership ability about him, and it's contagious. One of those guys you just like being around. So, you know, I hope and I think that Jacob's going to be the next great at BYU, and I think he's going to have a really good career. So I'm excited to see how he develops and how he matures as he hopefully steps into that role in the next few years. And so I think we got a couple good ones with Jaren and Jacob, and both of them are guys who can make plays and will be exciting to watch. So I think Jacob's going to be a good one.
Max, on Jacob, you talked about things that you and I know are 80% of play in that position, right? Leadership, decision-making, all of those things. If it was physical skills, Tom Brady wouldn't be the greatest player in the history of the game, right? But what about Jacob's physical skill set? How is he equipped to play at this level, to play in the Big 12? Arm strength, you know, arm talent, size, all of that. Does he fit in? Can he be that guy?
Yeah, I think he can. So when Jacob, right when he got home off his mission, and he's in Arizona, he called me up and we went out. We started kind of training with each other and doing some stuff. And I kind of made fun of him. I was like, bro, you need to get rid of that pudge, and your feet are slow and you got some work to do. And then, like, come on, man, we got to get this mission rust off of you. And, you know, then he goes to BYU and I see him next time he comes back down. And to me, he made a complete, like, body change makeover. Like, he looked the part, his feet were better. He could move well, and the dude has a cannon of an arm. Like, physically, the skill set that he has plenty to play a high level of football and be successful against high level teams. So you combine that, if he continues to work on that and get his body bigger and stronger and healthy, he 100% has the intangibles to be great in the leadership qualities and the head and the timing, decision-making, accuracy that we talk about that all great quarterbacks have to do. So got plenty of arm. His feet are great. He continues to get strong so he can stay healthy and take hits. I'm telling you, man, he's got what it takes to be good.
I can hear Max Hall's voice in my head right now. Like, if you were training me, Max, come on, Spencer, you got to get rid of the pudge.
Get rid of the pudge.
Your feet are slow.
I'm glad that I didn't go to lunch with you guys, because I know Max would have said to me, Blaine, what's with the pudge? And that wouldn't be good. Arms look good, pudge not so good. We got to get rid of the pudge. So, hey, I love it, Max, because
I call you out. I call you out big time. I wouldn't let it slide. Especially
no, he would too. That's the thing. He would absolutely do that. He'd be like, Blaine, what's with the waistline? Let's go, bro. So that's what I love about Max. But I'll tell you what, talking to you, Max, makes me feel really good about the quarterback position at BYU. And BYU, I've been saying they're back in the quarterback business, and you just verified that. I want to ask you one more thing. We have this thing we're asking the fans today. In the new Big 12, there's going to be 4 teams each season, well, until Texas and Oklahoma go, or if the Pac-10 adds some teams. But right now, you're not going to play 4 teams. Is there a team that you absolutely would not want to play next year, first year in the Big 12? You say, hey, keep them off the schedule. And is there a team that you go, oh, absolutely got to play them?
It's a good question. I'm going to be a little vague in it. The teams that I would absolutely want to play are Oklahoma, Texas, and Iowa State.
Me too. I'm there with you. Me too.
Yep.
Yeah, those 3 teams, I mean, that's a game that I'm looking forward to watching, and are also still games that I think BYU shows up and play like they can win. So I look forward to those. I don't know, a team that I just wouldn't want to play. not scared to play anybody, man. Bring it on. I mean, we can't have that attitude.
We could go with that. We could go with that.
Yeah, I mean, for the record.
Yeah, just give me somebody, and don't matter. We'll take them down. Like, that's the attitude you gotta have.
Both of us didn't care about
West
Virginia.
Alabama or Baylor or whatever. You know? So
Spencer and I both didn't care about West Virginia. Like, we're okay if we don't play West Virginia.
Morgantown, they're a long way
we don't
away.
care about
Whatever.
that.
Whatever.
So.
I'm okay with that. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay, awesome. Max, it's so great to catch up with you.
Okay, West Virginia, you guys got me.
West Virginia. He's joined us.
He's joined us with West Virginia.
He's joined us. Congratulations again on your new venture for the Substance Abuse Counseling Center. It's called Victory Recovery. We know you're coaching high school football. You're the offensive coordinator for a 5A team. You've made the jump for American Leadership Academy. You're an assistant athletic director there as well. I mean, things are going so well for you, man. So we're sending you BYU Sports Nation karma for the center to get off the ground, for your team to go do some good things on the football field, and let's talk again soon.
Absolutely. I love you guys. Appreciate everything you guys do and having me on and helping me promote what we're doing. So have a good one, guys.
You got it.
Thanks,
Max Hall.
So excited for all the great things Max is doing.
Legend.